What up, Instagram followers and YouTube enthusiasts? My name is Priority Mail. Today's beverage for the video is the Arizona RX Energy Herbal Tonic blend. It's really good. Yeah, nothing crazy. I just didn't feel like coffee today. So, today's video is on the Joy Cult Independent Jindys. When these came out, everyone thought these were the best things since Black River Trucks. Never tried them, never will. I don't like Black Rock River ramps. So yeah, but this review is gonna look a little different. It's not just going to be my opinion, but I've also asked some of my friends and people who I'm mutuals with on Instagram for their opinion. So before I even say anything, shout out Chris, Lefty, Casey, Clayton, Too Scary, and Beto. I will put all their Instagrams in my description. Follow them. They're all really good, really cool people. So, to start, I'm just going to go over what they said. I collected them all on my notepad. Thank you guys for being so in-depth and really telling me what you actually thought. Thank you. So, to start, I asked everyone what their expectations were of the trucks, and they all said that the expectations were pretty high. Most of them said that they were pretty high. $70 plus like their independence for fingerboards, and they expected them to be just as good, if not better, than Black River trucks. And in reality, they performed well. They liked them. They liked the taller look. And the only cons were the price and the axle slipping, but I'll talk about that later. So, one of the biggest selling points was the turning. Once people got their hands on them, everyone could kind of see how like insanely these things turn. These things do a very, very tight 90-degree turn, which is pretty cool. They're the tightest turning trucks on the market, so if you want a truck that turns really well, these might be it. But one of the biggest selling points was the turning. Every single person that I talked to said being able to turn that well and being a stable truck was really nice. It gave them the effect of having like a looser truck, being able to actually turn and carve into their stuff, but it gave them the stability of like a tighter truck, which is pretty cool. That is something that clearly no one else was able to figure out until now. Not many people messed with the tuning. I did ask them if they messed with it, and the only like things that they did would be like they added lower bushings, and it didn't affect performance. If anything, it just lowered the kingpin a little bit, which helped with being able to dip their smiths. Next thing I'm going to be talking about is the height. So these are the highest trucks on the market, and every single person I talked to needed to be something that they got used to. It's not like Dynamics or Black Rivers where like they're normal right out of the box. Like you don't really notice the height that much. These ones, like you really do have to get used to it. And then along with the height, the hangers actually kind of make your wheelbase sit back. I don't know if you guys can see, but they sit not completely like where the nose or the tail starts. They sit a little before that, which will mess with your pop. That is, as tiny as that sounds, it will mess with your pop. And I'm assuming, I didn't ask them what molds they were using because that sounded a little silly, but most people use a high mold for this. I've heard a lot of people complain not being able to use low molds, and it makes sense. High mold, high trucks, it'll work best, but with a low mold, you're going to want it to be a lot snappier. So one of the biggest problems was the axle slip. Now, this is either you get it or you don't get it. Some people have never experienced it. Other people did experience it. One of the biggest problems that people had is the axle slip. Now, some people get it, some people don't. This isn't for every single truck. However, if you don't get it, awesome. You lucked out and won the lottery. But if you do get axle slip, It's not the biggest deal. It is annoying when you're trying to switch out wheels. For me personally, I need to have 2 tools when I'm switching out my wheels to like hold the nut in place so that it doesn't spin. That's how bad it is. And like the axle will shift. But as long as you tighten your nuts and you have decent wheels, it shouldn't slide around while you're using it and like catch your wheel. But it's not for every single truck. They did quality control most, but like these seemed kind of rushed out and everyone wanted a pair, so they probably over supplied, and then they weren't able to fully make sure that all of them were up to spec as they wanted, which is understandable. And then another big problem that people had was the clearance. Now these kingpins sit very high up to the hanger. I even have smaller bushings in, and they're still very close to the hanger, and that kind of sucks because when you're trying to dip a smith, it will catch and like stop you from grinding if you're using like concrete or the brick ledge. However, just like the height, this is something that you can get used to. It is annoying, but you are able to overcome it. So most of the people I talked to did like these trucks. The only grievances they had was if their axle did slip and the price of them. These are an expensive truck. $70 is a lot of money. In my case, I bought them for like 55 bucks off of a friend. Too scary. Thank you again. And I don't think that this truck is for everyone as well. If you do prefer a low mold, don't get these. These are not going to be your truck. And also, if you don't have the money for it right now, or you're not willing to spend $50 to $70 on a pair, don't worry about it. You're not really missing out on much. I think that you should be content with you have. I mean, Levi's, you can get them on Amazon for like 13 bucks. You can get them off the website for even less. If you just want a fingerboard, get Levi's and some like decent wheels and you'll be happy. Happier than me using my overpriced independents, but I also have a lot of other setups, and this setup I can't stop using. For me, I like it. For others, it's okay. It's not for everyone. The axle slip is a huge issue. It's really annoying that I have to use 2 tools to be able to take my wheels off. It's really, really annoying. I think that as they keep continuing to make them, I think that it is going to get better. Sorry guys, it's like mad hot up in the mountains now, and I'm starting to sweat my balls off. But yeah, this truck's not for everyone. Now, the independent collab, it is a cool thing that a skateboard company did get into fingerboarding. They're not the first. I believe it was Frog Skateboards that was the first, and they started putting their graphics on false alarm boards, which is a whole nother issue. But I do think it's cool. However, I kind of hope that the skate industry and the fingerboard space keeps its distance. I don't love fingerboards that look like skateboards. I like fingerboards that look, I mean, obviously it's gonna look like a skateboard no matter what. They're kind of the same thing, but also like it's 2 different things. I would rather see a person who has an entirely new vision instead of a fingerboard deck that I've seen, like a primitive deck. I don't want to see a primitive deck. I don't want to see a Baker board. I don't want to see like any more actual skate brands put their graphics on fingerboards, because I do think it is a little bit silly. But do they perform like independents? So I've tried independents. I've also tried like Thunders, Ventures, Crux trucks. Been skating for a long time, and I've used a lot of different trucks, and they don't perform like independents at all. And the trucks that they actually perform like skateboard wise would be Lurpivs. Lurpivs are like one of the looser, they have like this anti-wheel bite geometry that isn't really true, but it is a lot looser of a truck. And if you notice, I do have riser pads on my Lurpivs. So they perform kind of similarly. I prefer like a higher kicks on my skateboards, just like I prefer higher kicks on my fingerboards. So it gives me the most realistic feeling as my skateboard. Lurpivs, they also have one of the tighter turns. So do Joy Colts. If you like how Joy Colts feel on a fingerboard and you skate, I'd be willing to say that you'd like how Lurpivs skate on a skateboard, because you get stability with the benefits of having loose trucks. You're able to turn a whole lot more. So cut to me skating my Lurpiv trucks now. So that's the video. I wanted to do a little bit better of a job describing what other people thought of the Joy Colts, because most of the reviews I saw were just one person's opinion, and I wanted to see what everyone else was saying, because not all people think the same, and I wanted to see as a group collectively what did we think. And it's mostly good. I definitely do think they're not for everyone, especially price-wise. Don't risk getting evicted or not being able to eat. Don't worry about having the best trucks. I wouldn't say they're the best, because everyone has their own opinion. I personally like them, and a lot of other people also like them, but also a lot of people like Dynamics. A lot of people like Black Rivers. I prefer Levi's over all of them, honestly. But don't let other opinions sway you into saying that you need these. Be content with what you have. Also, guys, thank you for all the love on the videos. It kind of blows my mind that people are seeing these. Yeah, you guys rock. I hope this was a good video. I kind of want to do more videos that other people are doing, but in more of a community way. So if you want to be part of that, follow me on Instagram. That was the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed your beverage with the video, and until the next video, peace.